This comic book took us 2 years to finish. Was it worth it? I have checked the date, and page 1 was created on September 30th, 2024, and the final comic was sent to print on 1st of June 2026. So yeah, it took like 2 years to make, which isn't the best. The good news is that it successfully funded on Kickstarter, which means enough people actually were interested in it to, pay for it to get printed. And it got shipped all over the world, which is amazing. But after everything, you're probably like, well, how much did you actually make? There's printing, there's packaging, shipping, tariffs now, Kickstarter fees, little bits that come into it. Yeah, it's probably necessary to give like a quick rundown of the actual comic, just for a bit of background and context. Anti-Cryptid Club, issue 1. I'm not the best at off-the-cuff explanations, so I'm just going to read the synopsis of the book. Welcome to Peak Promise, a town filled with myths, mountains, and most importantly, Cryptid Fest, the state's largest cryptid-themed festival. This year's 10th anniversary, hosted by Mayor Jackson, is set up to be the most surprising event yet, but not if Bucky Joe and Razor have anything to say about it. As the only 2 members of the Anti-Cryptid Club, they're set out on a mission to prove the threat of the cryptid menaces that allegedly stalk the world. If only they had a shred of evidence to back it up. Luckily for them, Meredith, a recently unemployed and middle-aged woman, happens upon just the answers they're looking for. Yeah, it's like a Napoleon Dynamite, Scooby-Doo kind of thing. Bit of comedy, bit of mystery, bit of drama, bit of Twin Peaksy vibes. This whole thing actually started with the idea of making a very quick comic turnaround. I've worked on like multiple other projects for people, but this is like the first one that was independent. I'll throw them here, some of the stuff I've done. And I as I was making them, I was thinking like, this can't be that hard to do on your own, it'll be easy. 2 years later, is it easy? No. Is it rewarding? Yeah. 2 years later, do I still think that was an easy, quick turnaround? Not at all. That was a silly idea, and hopefully this video helps you kind of get through some of the obstacles. This project as well, it was developed by myself and my partner, Ella Hackett. She doesn't want to be in the video, but basically the roles were, together we came up with the overall plot and the characters, and then from that I scripted it and illustrated it, basically. Now, the first massive mistake I made was basically drawing the comic book without finishing the story, which sounds unbelievably stupid, because it is. We had these like kind of vague ideas of where it was going to go. We knew who the characters were and what was going to happen long form, but we didn't have the minute details of what it was. So it was just kind of making it up on the spot. Safe to say, don't do that. Unless you're one of the magic people who can do that. I'm quite jealous of you. But honestly, if you have a script, or at least just a rough draft ahead, it's so much easier. You planned out, you're ready to go, you know what you're doing every day. But I ended up actually redrawing the entirety of the intro. I'll put some comparisons up because it might make a bit more sense what I'm talking about. And to be fair, the new ones look a lot better, and I think that's because it was over time. I had multiple projects in between this. It's nice to see the skill level actually increasing over time, because it's kind of rare to see that when you don't often redraw things. I finally settled into a practice that kind of worked, scripting it out, and then this is a tip stolen straight from Daniel Warren Johnson.
If something works small, it's going to work big.
Thumbnail the entire book in tiny little sketches, in scribbles. It takes 5 minutes for a page, as long as you've got the script ready. If a page works at this size, it's going to work when it's magnified intensely,
I know it's going to work, because it works small. That means it's going to work big.
And it helps you make a lot of edits quicker when it's so small, because you don't really care about the scribbles. Now, during the making of the book, we set up our Kickstarter pre-launch page quite far in advance of actually launching it. Reading all the forums and countless YouTube videos, Reddit and all that stuff, they all say, get your pre-launch up early and build as many followers as you can to that page. But again, being someone with very little internet clout, a few hundred Instagram followers, and maybe like 1,000 TikTok, I think we found that very hard to kind of build that momentum. Yeah, it was a struggle to get people to follow the pre-launch. In total, I think we ended up at 80 to 90 people, and then of those set of people who actually bought the comic in the end. It was 18. Now we had this page up for a year, which could have caused people to lose interest, which is fair enough. Like a year later, why would you care? If anything, it shows probably that we were quite slow. But to be honest, I don't know how useful the pre-launch page was. I think if we were to do another one, we'd limit the pre-launch page to around a month or 2 weeks. I think it would work a lot better. In terms of the goal, there seems to be this ongoing myth around the internet where if you set your funding goal ridiculously low, you'll get funded quicker, the algorithm will assume you are freaking hot shit and spread you to people everywhere. That might be true if you've got 200,000 followers, but if you're like me and don't know anybody, it just felt a bit silly to slap a goal that wasn't genuine on it. And we didn't really know how many people were going to turn up, like it could have been 10 people realistically. We were very lucky to get what we did. On the flip side of that, there is also people who would set a really high goal with absolutely no community behind them and end up with like £10, 3 hours left on their campaign, and you're thinking, why have you done that? You're an idiot. I think, maybe for like 5 seconds in your head, you're like, what if I become a millionaire? You won't. I think there's a lot of stories out there that people have this exact same sentiment of just set a realistic goal and be honest where you're at in your career. We asked for around £600, which thought that was reasonable, and ended up raising £1,013, which is, to be honest, that's actually insane. It's not like, obviously it's not a crazy amount of money in this world right now, but the fact that just people even looked at what we made and thought, oh, yeah, I want to take part in that, that's kind of the main reason. I guess spoiler for the end of the video, obviously yes, it was worth it to do it because it's like a creative passion. It's lovely. I guess what am I saying? Set a reasonable goal, don't be an idiot. The bit that people seem to shy away from online is where does the money actually go? How much do you keep? Where does the rest of it go? Because everyone seems to have a different number for all of it. We raised exactly £1,013, and immediately Kickstarter takes a cut. I can't remember how much, but there's taxes as well. The money we actually got sent from Kickstarter was 890 something, it was around 900, and with that we did the printing of the comic and the rewards. We had quite basic rewards in ours. It was like a sticker and a postcard for like deluxe editions. We could have probably done better than that. I think in the next one we'll try to. So you do the printing, the packaging, the fees, the shipping. Oh my god, the shipping. No one ever mentions the part where you have to stand in a post office across from the attendant who is signing and sticking stuff onto your parcels for about half an hour, awkwardly not really being able to talk in conversation because they're busy. So you just stood there like, hope you're having a good day. I'm really sorry about this. I didn't mean to bring like 30 parcels to you. But apparently that they get a lot worse than that. So after everything, it was like £400 to £450, which immediately went to rent. So if you're watching this and you did back the comic, thank you so much. You literally helped us live for a little bit, which is amazing. And just having it be like a finished thing that you can hold in your hands is enough. Again, thank you so much to everyone that backed it. But then I did a very silly thing, and I worked out how much I'd actually earned per hour, according to like GBP minimum wage. So this double page took 23 hours. And this was actually one of the ones I redrew. So technically I did it twice. The first one wasn't a double page spread, to be fair, but you get the gist. The comic has like 50 pages in it. So Googling that, rounding it down to about 11 hours per page, from £400, it becomes 73p an hour. So the question of is it worth it? Financially, you could argue no. I looked at the like actual statistics for how many comic creators actually even make a living wage, and I think it's like 5.4% of people make over £12,000 a year, or dollars, whatever it is. Like, everyone below that is insane. It's a hugely oversaturated market, and jumping into it is stupid. But at the end of the day, that's like the whole thing is you want to make it just because you want to make it. So was it worth it in the Yeah, we're making another one. Of course, we're making another one. Maybe it's due to some sort of weird Stockholm syndrome. You know, we've been drawing, thinking about these characters for over 500 hours. We just kind of want to see where they end up. It's not really about the money. I think if you've made it this far into the video, you're probably in the same boat where like you didn't need this video to tell you either way to make a comic or not. If you want to do it, you're just going to do it. If anything, the money just makes it go a bit quicker because you can focus your time on that. So yeah, I think if you want to make a comic, you're going to make it. And if you're doing it for money, you're in it for the wrong reason anyway, so you won't get that far. So just capping off, this was the first official YouTube video I've made. I had made others, I deleted them all. This could very well end up in that pile, but hopefully not. Hopefully I stick to it this time. If anyone actually wants to read the comic, you technically can't buy it right now, which is an error on my part. But it's available on Global Comics. There'll be a link in the description. I think it's like the subscription thing for that. I don't know. If you actually want the physical one, it will be on sale in Manchester Ink Blot Festival on October 31st. So that's the next time you can actually get a copy of it. And to buy it online, the next place will actually be the Kickstarter for the second issue, which will be coming up probably before the end of the year. So yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.